So today I'm gonna be starting a new series. I hope I actually continue it. It's gonna be on alternate timelines in history, so it's not gonna be one after the other, but some days I'll just do an alternate timeline of some world event and yeah, how the world could have evolved if something had happened or something had not happened. And yeah, let's get right into it. I am going to avoid the typical what if Hitler had been killed in World War One or what if Hitler had been accepted into art school because well that's literally on every single YouTube channel. Well, like the one I'm gonna say probably is, but the Hitler one is way too common and I'm not even gonna bother with it. But this one is really interesting. It is on the Gunpowder Plot, 1605. So my question is, what if the gunpowder plot had actually succeeded? What if they had gotten away with it? So let's get right into it. Well, first of all, the whole gunpowder plot got caught and kind of put down because they caught Guy Fawkes leaving the Parliament, House of Parliament. But in this alternate timeline, Guy Fawkes managed to escape without being caught. And well, he managed to get away and from quite a safe distance see the House of Parliament go kaboom. Now, House of Parliament at that moment had the King, his wife, and the Prince of Wales, Henry, who at that time was alive. He died in 1612, I think it was. Anyway, so of course the King would have been dead and killed. The Queen would have been killed. The Prince of Wales would have been killed. A lot of top ministers would have been killed. And so the principal English government at the time would have disappeared because Parliament had been destroyed. The majority of people there would have been killed, as well as the monarch. So, of course, people in the Tower of London, people around the country, who should they obey? They didn't have the next in line because the next in line had also been killed. So there was literally no way of organizing a system of government or justice or whatever. So of course, this was a moment where the people involved, so Robert Catesby, Guy Fawkes, and all the others, they had to think fast, act fast. They couldn't just wait around because otherwise they would lose everything they had just done. Well, of course, the king was dead, but I would say they wanted to install a Catholic government monarch, and if they just sat around waiting, they couldn't exactly do that. So they actually had this organized in their actual plot. They would have met with a group of Catholic people near a family home of Catesby, and they would have just been undercover because they would have been hunting, and they would have actually hide there for a while. This had actually been arranged for the actual plot, but of course they didn't get that far. But let's say in this alternate timeline, they did, and they were at this hunting place. Now, they had two targets now to key people that wanted to succeed. Elizabeth, the daughter of James, who wasn't a Parliament, and Charles, Duke of York, and in actual life, future King of England. Of course, he wasn't the eldest child in real life. The eldest child, Henry, he died in 1612, around that time. And so the Prince of Wales title moved on to Charles. But at this point, because the actual Prince of Wales had been killed, the next in line could have been Charles. So let's go into Elizabeth. So she was just 9 years old. She's extremely young. And well, she was under the guardianship of this guy called Lord Harrington in Combe Abbey. Now, after the plot, he obviously had to take care of Elizabeth, and he moved her to Coventry, where they would have been attacked by the rebels, and Elizabeth would have been captured. Well, Elizabeth was probably make a comment. I don't know any sources on this, but she was quite young, she could have been influenced, and well, she could have been proclaimed Queen Elizabeth II. And of course, she was just 9, so she would need a protector. And this was ideal because they had this guy called Henry Percy. Yes, there are a ton of Henry Percys in English history, way too many. But this is another one. So he would have been the protector, and he was Catholic, and he was actually the brother of one of the plotters called Thomas Percy. So the next key person is Charles. So what would have happened with Charles? So, well, he was 4. If you think Elizabeth was young at 9, he was 4. And she was next heir because of the whole primogeniture idea. So the people in charge of the Gunpowder plot, they weren't quite sure on how to handle Charles. So he's quite weak. I mean, the whole figure of Charles in actual history is quite funny, not for him, but he's just one of the most interesting, to think that's the word, English monarchs there's ever been. Literally the only monarch to be decapitated by Parliament. Anyway, so he learned to walk at the age of 3, 4. So by the time this plot would have taken place, he was just learning how to walk. And well, of course, because he was quite young, he wouldn't have attended Parliament, and that's why he would have been spared. Well, after the plot or during the plot, Charles would have been kidnapped by Thomas Percy and taken into the custody of the rebels. So at this point, you have the Prince of Wales, who is dead, and the 2 other children of the king, who's also dead, in the hands of the rebels. Of course, I'm saying of course a lot in this video. Anyway, people loyal to the crown, monarchists, loyalists, well, not monarchists, but loyalists, persons, they had no one to rally behind, because there was no one in the royal family alive who would defend the Protestant faith, and the ones that were Catholic. So, well, maybe Charles would have been moved to Scotland for protection, and well, Protestants would have been able to regroup, and there was like demands to proclaim Elizabeth as queen because she was older, more capable. I don't know how that would have played out, but yeah, there would have been splits between Protestants and Catholics probably, and a civil war would have most likely ensured, because if it was already chaotic when Lady Jane Grey was proclaimed to the throne, imagine with this. So we would have had civil war, probably. Well, the English would have had civil war. And God knows how that would have panned out. Because that's when you get into like really deep into alternate history, and that is impossible to verify because, of course, we don't have any proof, any facts, because that didn't happen. But the whole aftermath of the Gunpowder plot, we can actually kind of guess, because there were plans put in place. The rebels did believe that they would succeed, so that's why we kind of know where it was going. And yet that is the alternate timeline of a successful Gunpowder plot, 5th of November 1605. Of course, oh my god, I'm saying of course way too much. Anyway, there would be no Guy Fawkes Night because, well, he would have succeeded. And yeah, I don't think there's much else to say. So I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah, so if you would like to see an alternate history, I don't know if anyone's gonna watch this far, because barely anyone does, but if you do, please comment below on some alternate history ideas. I'd love to uncover some new ones, because I love doing this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, any of my more ideas, please let me know. And I hope you found it interesting. I hope you liked it. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.